Well, fellas, we got to kick the show off with the biggest news, and that is no surprise. We are starting with Lamar Jackson has requested a trade. And it's not really a sense of he just did this. Apparently he did this quite some time ago.
Yeah.
But waited to go on a bit of a tweet thread right before his head coach was speaking this week, and this was what Lamar had to say.
Why do you think fans is capitalize?
They're important.
Is that what it is?
Yes, they're distinguished, right? Don't you capitalize things that are distinguished?
Yeah.
Matthew never capitalizes my names in text. But
Yeah, well, there
take
you
a
go.
hint.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. A letter to my fans. I want to first thank you all for all of the love and support you consistently show towards me. All of you are amazing, and I appreciate you all so much. I want you all to know not to believe everything you read about me.
Goes for me, too.
Let me personally answer your questions in regards to my future plans. As of March 2nd, I requested a trade from the Ravens organization, for which the Ravens have not been interested in meeting my value. Any and everyone that's met me or been around me know I love the game of football, and my dream is to help a team win the Super Bowl. You are all great, but I had to make a business decision that was best for my family and I. No matter how far I go or where my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my fans of Baltimore, Flock Nation, and the entire state of Maryland. You'll see me again.
Super Bowl not capitalized. The word C is capitalized. But that is bearing the headline, as they say. That's big news. Lamar Jackson, demanding a trade. The truth is that they don't have to trade him. They don't have to trade him. He's under the franchise tag, and they could say we're not trading you, and then Lamar has a choice to either sit out and forfeit a lot of money, or go and play for the Ravens. But it feels like this is coming to an end. One of the things that I wrote in my Combine column was that I had heard from a source basically saying that the Ravens were a little sick of Lamar as well, that there was frustration on their side. Again, this is all rumors. I'm not reporting it as news, but I'm just saying, like, one source had told me that their sense was that they had heard that the Ravens were annoyed with Lamar as well, whether it was the fact that he didn't have proper representation or, official representation that they felt like they could deal with, or just frustration on the games missed, or the, just the lack of progress in making a new deal, whatever it was. It feels like Lamar Jackson's time in Baltimore has come to an end.
We'll say the trade request tweet, I think it's a little bit blunted by the report that came out pretty shortly after from NFL Network that he continues to negotiate with the Ravens. So I would think that there is an element certainly of just gamesmanship.
But it could be also, they could be negotiating a sign and trade as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's also within the, and within the realm of possibility. So you can say it's a little bit of gamesmanship, but that's a big. Again, you think about Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson was like, I don't want to trade. No, I love it in Seattle. Meanwhile, all the reporting was like, no, behind the scenes, Russell Wilson is like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then, and then his agent was like, well, if he was traded, he wanted to go to one of these 4 teams, or blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And like, even Aaron Rodgers, with his dissatisfaction, prior to, mending fences with Green Bay, like, I'm frustrated with some of the decision making. Like, rarely do you see a player come out and blatantly say, especially a player of that stature, come out and say, like, no, I requested to be traded. I want out. You'll see me again, Baltimore Ravens flock, but I'm out of here, which is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? And don't you think maybe it is gamesmanship, Jay, but Connor, don't you guys think that, like, if a week from now they're like, hey, I've signed a, 6-year, $180 million deal with the Ravens, doesn't Lamar Jackson look foolish? Like, maybe he doesn't care because he's got whatever money he's gotten. But
yeah, I guess I'm so accustomed to the NBA where this happens all the time, and then players just end up with the same team where they've requested a trade, and this situation is different. But it's just so hard, Connor, to envision, like, what's the resolution here? Because he's not going to get the contract that he wants from anyone.
Not from anyone, but you wonder how much more can he squeeze out of an external team. I think that's what it's come down to, is Baltimore has set a line. He is not willing to go down to that line and wants to see what his external options are. And that market hasn't existed yet either, because teams could speak to him.
No, I mean, Chris Mortensen, my friend and former colleague from ESPN, tweeted out something about the fact that, there's some concern among, that he spoke to some owners, that the NFL owners meeting is currently going on right now, and that, he talked to a few owners about Lamar Jackson's situation. And there was some concern about the amount of missed time that he's had.
Yep.
Especially when you consider, like, it's a massive price tag. Because it's not just about, like, hey, we've got to give Lamar a ton of money, and obviously a lot guaranteed. Whether he gets the amount of guaranteed money that Deshaun Watson got or not remains to be seen, probably unlikely. But the fact is you're going to have to pay Lamar a lot of money, and then you're also going to have to pay the Ravens something, like you're going to have to give up draft picks or assets or combination. So it's a big price tag. Now, he's 26 years old. He's a franchise quarterback in a league that has very few franchise quarterbacks. He's actually already won an MVP. Right, he's a guy that puts butts in the seats, right? I mean, like he sells jerseys, right? He's an electric player. He is one of the faces of the league. He is a star in every sense of the word. So, there's a case to be made. There's a strong case to be made that he would do a lot of franchises in the NFL well. But it's interesting to see how this plays out. The other thing I'll just say, just weirdly, is you notice like pretty much every other team is sort of being numb. Or mum, I should say, except Washington, which is like, oh yeah, we're out. Well, we weren't asking. Just want to point out we're out. Hey, want to ask you about Sam Howell. I appreciate you asking me about Sam Howell because we're out on Lamar Jackson. You're like, well,
well, let's hear it. We do have the sound. I mean, for those that don't know what we're talking about, this was Washington's comments on the Lamar Jackson chase.
We probably end up making serious contract offers, having serious discussions with somewhere between 10 and 20 of those guys each year. So there are a ton of talented players that could help us, but we don't end up talking to for various reasons. And Lamar falls into that category.
But we will not say what those reasons are.
No, right? There are players that could help us, but we don't talk to them. Why not? Why would we not want to talk to players that could help us? It doesn't happen. Not every deal is going to happen, but it just can you imagine hey, Matthew, I'd love to have a meeting because we've got some ideas for Fantasy Football Happy Hour about how we can improve the show. Nah, don't want to take the meeting.
Yeah. Sure, they're great.
I'm sure they're great, but
we're fine.
I just whatever. I'm good. Take the meeting. Why do you not talk to players that could help? I don't understand that.
It's very
What's
silly.
your job What is your job if you're not talking to players that can help you?
At the most important position in the sport.
By the way, a position that Washington has been in the desert desperately searching for a long, long time. We prefer to spend $28 million and a couple of picks on Carson Wentz. No. Why would we want to talk to Lamar Jackson? We had Carson Wentz last year.
Yeah.
We've got a fifth-round rookie. We got outbid for Taylor Heineke. Why would we want to?
We pivoted to
why would you want a young,
Yeah.
unanimous MVP winner? We do actually have odds on the next team that Lamar Jackson will end
All
up
right.
at. Probably
Sure.
not going to be the Washington Commanders, who are plus 1,000, but the Indianapolis Colts, Connor, are now the favorite, plus 225. Looks like they're not going to get Stroud or Young in the draft. And so, Lamar and the Colts all of a sudden makes them pretty interesting in the AFC South.
Patriots Lamar Jackson on any of these teams, obviously, any one of these teams immediately becomes a contender. The Patriots at 450, I don't know if you saw the report, but Meek Mill, he's a rapper.
Yeah, not a congressman.
He's not, there was some confusion on the pre-show
Which
call
Meek Mill we were discussing.
by some production
Senator
personnel
Mill.
as to what Meek Mill does for a living. Meek Mill is a rapper and a very successful one at that. According to Meek Mill, Lamar Jackson would like to go to the Patriots. That is what Robert Kraft said, that Meek Mill told him. By the way, I love the fact that Robert Kraft and Meek Mill text.
I know,
and
that's the best thing about it. It's so ridiculous. It's great.
But it's true. But by the way, I 100% believe that because
sure.
they're like Meek Mill and Michael Rubin, who is the CEO of Fanatics, are very close. Michael Rubin and Robert Kraft are also very close as well. So there's a circle there. I have been at a Fanatics party where I have seen Meek Mill, Michael Rubin, and Robert Kraft all together. So I love that Meek is a Patriots guy. Although Meek's from Philadelphia, I would assume he'd be an Eagles guy. But
I think he is. But for some reason he has the Patriots connection as well.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got a quarterback. Philadelphia's got a quarterback all taken care of. So there was an interesting list there of potential places for for Lamar Jackson.
All of these teams immediately become Super Bowl contenders with
Yes.
Lamar Jackson, just immediately.
What
The
did you
Patriots
guys
with Lamar,
think?
By the way,
are you kidding me?
the Jets are on there.
Jets are on there.
Can you imagine, like, if there's a, you know what?
Swerve off
Screw
the
you.
highway.
Yeah. It is like,
be a great
it's the
result.
meme of, like,
Yes.
there's Aaron Rodgers and there's, like, Lamar Jackson, and it's like, whoop, he's driving that way. Like,
Oh, man.
could you imagine?
Yes.
That's
that
what
would
I'm
be
cheering for.
amazing.
Joe Douglas did
And
come
then,
out
and
and
then
say they're
the
not
Packers,
doing that. But
the Packers, I would love that just because
Oh,
the
man.
Packers and Aaron Rodgers are stuck with each other
Yeah.
in this $50 million.
and he shows up.
And he just shows up. He's just like, I want my $50 million.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't
He's
have
just
to throw,
like,
but-
he's carrying a bag of ayahuasca, and he's just like, whatever.
Having the time of his life at camp.
I don't care. Whatever. Screw you, Packers.
Bag of ayahuasca.
What did you guys think? I think this is
Is
the
it not
first
coming
time.
back?
I'm not 100% sure, but I would take the under 0.5 on coming in a bag. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong.
I have not taken ayahuasca, but I assume you smoke it, right?
I thought you
Ingest
drank
it?
it. I thought you drank it, but I could be wrong.
Drink it?
Again, it's been a
We
while.
need an expert on this panel.
Can someone do the research on how you
We will inform the audience.
get ayahuasca into your body?
Yeah.
Either way, even if you drink it, it could be in a bag.
Yeah. We need to text Meek
not
Mill
in a-
to
it's
text
not in
Aaron
a-
Rodgers to find out how you
Yeah,
ingest
it's not.
ayahuasca.
It doesn't come in a bottle. You know what I mean? Like if you
Maybe.
drink it, it doesn't come in a bottle
Like
of
a
ayahuasca.
cocktail of ayahuasca.
Like,
Like
yeah.
CVS.
What do I want? Do I want do I want a nice red, or like should I do the Camus, or like ayahuasca? All right, tonight. What are we doing?
Oh, man.
Aaron Rodgers.
It only took us 2 minutes to get off the rails
Yes.
today.
I'm not even going to try to get us back on. I'll just keep us moving.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is that much to be done in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. I feel like it's interesting that the Ravens weren't listed as an odds. Like, I wonder what you could get odds on Lamar Jackson ends up playing for the Ravens this year. That would be interesting odds too, right? In terms of what
I think they should still be the favorite. I think that's the
I
most
do
likely
too. That's
outcome.
what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, again, right,
franchise
because
tag.
there's some posturing. If he doesn't get what he wants from someone else, and the Ravens aren't going to just give him away, obviously. So Ravens would just say, like, Lamar, you can play for us for $35 million, or you can sit out. And again, remember, Lamar's been playing under his rookie deal, which is still nice, but he was the 32nd pick overall. He doesn't have the same kind of money as like Josh Allen,
Right.
as some of the other quarterbacks that were taken in his year. So, I don't know. That's tough to sit out for $35 million.
Ayahuasca is a herbal drink. It contains chemicals that affect the brain and might be unsafe.
Do not
Disclaimer.
drink it.
Yeah, it's,
Disclaimer from the show.
It's delivered by a shaman as well. I don't know many shamans, but anyway.
I
that's how
do
you
feel like
continue
I do
ayahuasca.
feel like we're in the off season now, and so we're trying to sort of figure out what we do for the show next year going forward. Like,
More ayahuasca.
right? Well, listen, we've added Connor. Connor's a full-time member of the show now. We're thrilled to have Connor. Me and you obviously are stuck here. But
Damn
I
contract.
do think a shaman would be a nice addition to the
shaman
staff.
up
We just
there.
throw him back there.
Yeah, put some ayahuasca on tap
Absolutely.
next to the Premier
Some
Lager.
remodeling
Right,
of the
exactly.
the summer.
Just, like,
But
can we
safe
call
ayahuasca.
Mr. Applebee's and be like, hey,
Any shaman?
right?
We have an
yeah,
idea.
exactly. We have an
Listen.
idea.
And Applebee's would be like, no, we don't want
like
any
maybe
ideas.
for happy hour.
Yeah.
Because happy hour when you're eating good in the neighborhood, and you go happy hour is great at Applebee's. Could they offer that? I'm asking. I don't know.
Maybe they want our good ideas.
I bet you
Yes.
they don't.
Yes.
I don't think they do.
The Commanders don't want good ideas. So, all right, let's keep it
Yeah, they
moving
keep
along.
insisting. It just feels like they insist a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I think they doth protest too much. They
You
doth.
know, I was in a hostel in Lima in Peru, and a group of people were going to do ayahuasca, and they asked me if I wanted to come, and they explained what happens, and I was like, I'm out.
sound like my
I'm
good-
completely
yeah.
out.
Well, you did hear them out.
Yeah,
I give you
heard them
credit
out.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I bailed. But yeah, anyway, Aaron Rodgers is a tougher man than me.
It is a, as anyone that's read me for a number of years knows that I'm a big Howard Stern fan.
Yes.
And so Robin Quivers, who's the co-host of that show, she has done ayahuasca, and that has become a long-running joke on the show as well. Her experience, she just detailed her experience. She enjoyed it, but it is a lot goes. There's just a lot goes in and a lot goes out.
Yes, that's
candidly.
the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Disclaimer: this show is not encouraging you at home
Correct.
to partake in the
I said it was
cocktail
unsafe.
of
Yeah,
I
it's
said it was
unsafe.
unsafe.
Ayahuasca's unsafe. Don't do
Unsafe.
it.
It's no good.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.